Hello everyone, Soul MCA here. In my old videos I used to say, before we started a tutorial, let's do some housekeeping things. Well, today we're going to do some housekeeping things. I've noticed that I've been getting an influx, an increase in comments stating, give us the note names, give us the fret numbers. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about the number theory to make sure everyone is on the same page. And I'm going to do this as a two-part series. This will be the video talking about decoding the number theory, and the next video we'll talk about why the number theory is so important and why I use it. I'm going to put both of these in those default playlists that I put at the beginning of my videos. We're going to jump straight into this now so we won't delay this lesson. In order to talk about the number theory, we must first understand the major scale. The major scale is responsible for most westernized music. The major scale is comprised of 8 notes in any given key. To understand the major scale, we've got to talk about these two movements that are in front of us, the half step and the whole step. The half step is when you go over one fret marker, over one fret, and a whole step is when you go over 2 fret markers from any given point on the fretboard. Whole step can also be called 2 half steps put together equal a whole step. Now, how do we get the major scale? We get the major scale by using a combination of half steps and whole steps. There is a formula that we can use in order to figure out how to make a major scale. And it is as follows: root WW H WWWH, where those W's stand for whole steps, and the H's stand for half steps. If you need a good mnemonic device in order to help you remember that, remember again that we start with the root, but use this mnemonic device to help you remember. Why won't he wear white when hot? WWH, WWWH. Now, when you understand that concept, you can see something like what's in front of you. If we were to stretch out the major scale on a single string, this being a C major scale, as represented or depicted in this picture, we take the R, which is the root, which is the very first note in the scale, which happens to be in this case a C. Then we're going to go from the first position, we're going to skip a whole step to get our second circle. Then we're going to skip another whole step to get our third circle. Then we're going to skip another half step to get the fourth, a whole step to the fifth circle, a whole step to the sixth circle, a whole step to the seventh, and finally a half step to the eighth. Now, those numbers that I just gave you are actually the number theory. All right, the first circle is our root, but following that, our root or our 1, following that, every other circle gets a number. So you have 1, your root, then the second circle, which is R2, the third circle, R3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And this is how you can take any given key and decide how to figure out the major scale using this formula. It will always be correct for the major scale. Now I'm going to show you in this next example what that is fleshed out, where you can have your letters, which are represented at the bottom, what those given notes are for the C major scale, but just know that this is transferable anywhere. So if you were to take the same theory and move it to G, and you wanted G to be your first note, or your key center, or the song that the key is in, G would become your 1. And then A would become your 2, B would become your 3, C would become your 4, and so on and so forth if you're following that whole, half, whole, half formula. And that is how we create the major scale on any string given any key, and that is how we figure out the number system for any major scale in any key. So now that you understand the number system and you understand how to create a major scale based on the key that you are in, you now understand the numbers system and you should easily be able to follow along on my tutorials. Now, here is my recommendation. If you still are a person who relies on note names, which I fully understand, I remember being a beginner and wanting people to give me the note names, show me what you're doing with your hands, all comments I get now. But the good thing about YouTube is you can work at your own speed. So my recommendation is at the beginning of each video, I show you the numbers and the corresponding letters. Get something simple like a notepad. Write down the note names and note letters. As I give you the numbers, pause the video, look down at your letters, and figure out what you're doing. All right. Um, Seeing where my hands are is not going to help you. I'm detuned. All right. So I give you the numbers and I give it to you in a detailed fashion so that you can, at your own speed, figure things out. I'm going to give you a little secret to help you along your progress. It's something that I made stunt me for a while. Use everything accessible to you to figure things out. Use your ears, use the stop, use the rewind. It will help you later if someone's not completely giving you everything that you need. All right. So if you can't figure it out based on what I've said or you can't see my hands, know that I'm telling you the number of the note. Figure that out and find the note on your bass that sounds like it's in the same tone area of me, and you will be on track. All right. So let me see. Y'all take care.